Driven, the Soichiro Honda story. In a quiet village in Shizuoka, Japan, a boy knelt beside a rice mill, not to help harvest rice, but to stare at the gears that made it turn. His name was Soichiro Honda. And where most people saw machines, he saw magic. One day, an airplane flew overhead. Soichiro didn't just watch, he chased it. Ran through the fields, barefoot, until it disappeared. He returned home with a face smeared in oil from examining the landing gear. And got a beating for skipping school. But something had already taken flight inside him. A fire. A hunger. Not to fly. To build. From a young age, Soichiro had no interest in toys. He played with scrap metal, broken fans, nuts, bolts, anything with parts. He wasn't a great student. Hated rules. Hated uniforms. But give him a wrench. He was Mozart. At 15, he packed his bags and left for Tokyo, alone, to work in a small auto repair shop. The owners thought he was too young to be useful. So he swept the floors. Cleaned tools. And then stayed after hours and taught himself. Slept on a pile of rags beside the engines. Dreamt in the rhythm of pistons. He once helped build a racing car. It exploded on the test track. He clapped with joy. It wasn't a failure, it was a lesson. Years later, he started his first company, making piston rings. He was certain his designs were perfect. He pitched them to Toyota. They rejected him. Said the parts were weak, imprecise. So what did Soichiro do? He swallowed his pride and went back to school. Not college. High school. At age 23, sitting next to kids 10 years younger, learning metallurgy, precision, and patience. And when he returned to Toyota, this time, they said yes. But just as his factory began producing, war broke out. Bombs rained down. His building. Destroyed. He rebuilt. Then an earthquake hit. He rebuilt again. Then it caught fire. People said it was cursed. Soichiro said, "Now I can rebuild it even better." When the war ended, Japan was shattered. Gasoline was rare. People were hungry and tired. So Soichiro went back to the shed and did something crazy. He strapped a tiny engine onto a bicycle. It was loud. Ugly. Rattled like a dying lawnmower. But it worked. And just like that, people started moving again. Soichiro built more. Improved the design. Gave it a name. Honda. No investors. No suits. Just an idea, and relentless hands. But Soichiro didn't stop there. He looked at racing. The world laughed. A Japanese scooter maker wants to race the big leagues. He didn't care. He didn't enter to win. He entered to learn. At the Isle of Man TT, the most dangerous motorcycle race on earth, he sent his machines. They failed the first year. But each race taught him more. And then, they won. Suddenly, the world stopped laughing. Then came America. The land of freedom, diners, and Harley-Davidson. Honda motorcycles were dismissed as weak. Quiet. Unmanly. So Soichiro flipped the script. He launched a campaign. You meet the nicest people on a Honda. Boom. A culture shift. College kids. Nurses. Dads. Teenagers. Everyone wanted one. He didn't fight the giants. He outtaught them. As the company grew, cars, bikes, boats, robots, even jet planes, Soichiro stayed in the trenches. Never wore a tie. Hated boardrooms. Still in overalls. Still building. Still arguing with engineers. He said, "A good idea doesn't care who has it. Build the damn thing." He retired. But didn't stop. He helped design solar cars. Jet engines. Mobility devices for the elderly. Because to Soichiro, Invention wasn't business. It was joy. His greatest quote. Success is 99% failure. He didn't fear failure. He welcomed it. Studied it. Used it like a blueprint. And that's why today, every time you hear the hum of a Honda engine, on a road or in the sky, you're hearing the echo of a kid from Shizuoka who refused to quit. Not when the world said no. Not when the factory burned. Not when people laughed. He just built again. Because he wasn't in it for applause. He was in it to move. And that is why he moved the world. So when the engine fails, when your idea crashes, when they call you crazy, when you're down in the ashes, remember this. Even the greatest engine starts with just one turn of the crank. Be driven. Like Honda.